Can't possibly imagine that this beautiful school beauty is already 40 years old. The failure of her marriage led this woman to travel 20 years into the future. As she regains her youth, she decides to reshape her life. Just when Rose is feeling pleased with herself, her ex-husband suddenly appears before her. It turns out that on that night, her ex-husband also traveled through time. The two of them gaze at each other, reminiscing about the vows they once made. Without knowing if the other person has also traveled, they choose to pass by each other, unaware of each other's identities. That day, Rose sees the campus heartthrob Jack on the playground. His handsome and charming appearance instantly reminds Rose that in 20 years' time, Jack becomes a multi-billionaire super handsome guy. Rose feels troubled, wondering why she chose her ex-husband, who was a scoundrel back then. This time, returning 20 years into the past, she decides to seize this opportunity. The corridor is silent, but Jack chuckles, creating an awkward atmosphere. It turns out that a few days ago, Jack confessed his feelings to Rose. However, Rose rejected him with a bizarre reason. Unaware of this as she travels back in time, Rose only realizes the truth when her best friend informs her that the timeline of the time travel is incorrect. After dinner, Rose encounters her ex-husband once again. Who would have known that what you fear comes true? At the social gathering, the two of them once again come face to face. Rose recalls that this is where she and her ex-husband first met, but it seems that neither of them knows that the other has also traveled through time. Looking at her ex-husband with a silly expression, to Rose's surprise, he casually calls out her best friend's name. Rose immediately becomes suspicious, but luckily her ex-husband notices a name written in a book, and narrowly avoids exposing himself. Soon it's time for the selection activity. The girls place their accessories on the table, and the boys choose one to indicate their preference. Meanwhile, the ex-husband's best friend takes an interest in Rose's best friend. He reaches out to grab the accessory, but the ex-husband pretends to accidentally bump into him, resulting in him mistakenly picking up a different one. The ex-husband did this because in the future, his best friend gets dumped by Rose's best friend, and spends his days drowning his sorrows in alcohol. But who would have known that Rose's best friend would claim that accessory as her own? Despite the ex-husband's efforts, he couldn't prevent the chain of events. Rose finally realizes that her ex-husband also traveled through time.